The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Posey, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Speaking of crypto, commingling of funds, while we're on that subject, prior to the collapse of FTX, did you have any concerns with the company or question if they were breaking any securities laws or harming investors?
I think, if I might, I have had, since I've been in this job, a general concern about the field, and as expressed here today, about the non-compliance of this commingling of these various functions, and that they should come into compliance by separating exchange from broker-dealer, from what you might call a hedge fund function, and other functions.
So with those concerns, did you direct your staff to look into FTX?
I want to stay at a little bit higher level, but I directed the staff to look into the crypto intermediaries and a wide range of crypto intermediaries. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what did they find?
Well, we filed an action late last year, a number of actions, which are public actions with regard to Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX that are on our website. But what we found in those actions, as they show, is we allege a number of violations of the securities laws.
Yeah, when did you think FTX was problematic? At what point?
Well, again, we filed these actions in December, and I think we've filed follow-up actions in January because it takes time to develop an investigative file, and we follow the facts and the law where they come. But I've given speeches, and I've been clear with many members of this industry that right now they need to come into compliance. We have one goal, is to bring them into compliance and to stop commingling all these functions, stop using customer funds as if they're their own. It's like somebody who's got their hand in the cash register because they say, I want to take some money out of the cash register for the weekend. I'll put it back later. And that's just not proper.
How long after you met with FTX and investigated, and did you notify the public and investors that there was an
Again, as we've chatted earlier today, we protect anything we do in our examination function, our investigative function. We protect that information and hold it confidential because it's important for the integrity of any investigation, but also for people's privacy. And often we find that we close investigations without bringing action. So there's a time-tested reason that you, of course, would want us to keep things confidential. So we only make them public when and if we either settle or bring charges.
Sad to hear that. The Inspector General found that your SEC is facing the highest attrition rate in 10 years. You know, how's the attrition rate affected your agency's ability to regulate digital assets?
No, it's a very dedicated workforce. We've moved up to about 6 or 7% attrition. That's consistent with other financial regulators across the U.S. government. I'm really pleased to say that last week the Partnership for Public Service, we went up in the overall rankings. We're now in employee surveys. These are employee surveys done by outsiders. I think we're now 3rd out of 27 mid-sized agencies. But in terms of digital assets, we could certainly use more resources. I mean, it is definitely, there are more things to look at and investigate than we have people on the staff to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.